switch to YouTube. Blunt. Might as well.
He recalls the secret he discovered, sacrificing his best item to obtain the hidden dragon's soul. His expression is one of intense concentration, confident that his new strategy will work. With his new knowledge, he presses start, initiating the legendary 100th wave. The final battle commences, pitting his lone knight against a colossal boss and its undead legion. Tapping furiously, he pours all his focus into his character's movements, praying his plan works. A brilliant flash of energy engulfs the screen as his knight unleashes a devastating attack. The screen shakes from the impact, signaling the climax of the impossibly difficult wave. His eyes burn with fierce resolve, utterly convinced he will finally conquer the game. The word victory blazes across the screen. He has finally done the impossible. He leaps to his feet in pure elation, his triumphant shout echoing in the silent room. But his celebration is cut short by his father, who stands menacingly in the doorway with a golf club. Ji-hoon's joy instantly vanishes as his father reveals he received a call from the blackmailers. The assemblyman explains they tried to extort him, using Ji-hoon's mistake as leverage. His father's voice drops, reminding his son of one rule: never tarnish the family honor. Terrified, Ji-hoon shrinks back, desperately apologizing as his father advances on him. From outside, their silhouettes tell a grim story, as the father raises his club against his cowering son. With terrifying speed, the assemblyman swings the club down in a furious, punishing arc. Ji-hoon's world shatters, his eye reflecting the terror of the brutal, unforgiving impact. His phone lies shattered on the desk, a stark reminder of his weakness and inability to defy his father. A tear falls from his eye as a shocking realization dawns on him, sparking a new kind of defiance. Later, he approaches his father, his voice trembling as he asks about his missing cat, Ruru. The assemblyman coldly dismisses his concern, stating that Ji-hoon no longer needs such a pet. Ji-hoon grits his teeth, barely containing the surge of rage at his father's callousness. Noticing the look of rebellion, his father menacingly questions his son's defiant expression. Panic and fury overwhelm him as he desperately demands to know where Ruru is. His father pauses, drawing out his cruel answer with a sinister calm. He then delivers the final blow, telling Ji-hoon the cat is now with his deceased mother. Ji-hoon's expression shatters into one of pure, unadulterated horror at the monstrous confession. His father's cruel words from the past echo in his mind, promising rewards for absolute obedience. He recalls the chilling warning to never be a disappointment again. The memory of his father's cold, emotionless voice fills him with dread. A twisted declaration of belief was just another tool for control. Back in the present, Ji-hoon's despair finally ignites into pure, unyielding hatred. Staring at the discarded golf club, he realizes he can't take this life anymore. In his moment of utter defeat, a system message declares him the first ever conqueror of Knight Defense. The victory feels meaningless as he collapses, convinced he has nothing left to live for. But his shattered phone suddenly glows, displaying a mysterious invitation. An impossible surge of energy erupts outside his window, beckoning him to another world. A pillar of light descends from the heavens, striking a grand castle in a new, unfamiliar world. Inside, Ji-hoon materializes before stunned guards, hailed as the one who will save them all. He finds himself kneeling in a grand hall. Countdown starts, ticking down to the moment his invasion will be unleashed. The game then lays out the ultimate objective for his new allegiance to the monster faction. With a new fire in his eyes, he learns his mission is the complete destruction of the human world. But with this dark path comes an equally compelling reward for seeing it through to the end. The prize is the power to take any single item from this game world back with him. He realizes this means he can return to his original world, but not empty-handed. A memory of his mother bringing Ruru home floods his mind, reminding him of a happier time. A new, powerful resolve forms. He understands he might be able to go back and fix everything. Surrounded by knights, he now has a reason to fight, empowered by the hope of changing his past. The royal knights reel back in shock, questioning the source of the ominous energy that just erupted from him. From his throne, the king struggles to comprehend the power he just witnessed, wondering if monster is even the right word. His new form is a terrifying silhouette of shadow and flame, radiating an energy completely alien to this world. He calmly assesses the situation, noting that while choosing a faction is new, the game's core mechanics might still apply. Just as he predicted, a main quest window appears, giving him his first objective: crush the human defenses. Despite the new objective, he recognizes the familiar game progression, his expression remaining cool and calculated. Knowing the game's flow, he anticipates the next reward, a summon for a powerful S-rank ally. But instead of a knight, a mysterious dark egg materializes before him, catching him completely off guard. A system window clarifies the twist. His allegiance to the monsters has changed his starting reward to a powerful monster egg. Without hesitation, he accepts the offer, ready to see what new ally awaits him. A brilliant flash of light erupts from the egg, blasting the surrounding knights away. From the smoke, a massive, shadowy figure begins to take shape, its presence chilling the air. The royal knights stare in utter horror, realizing a powerful entity has been summoned into their midst. Ji-hoon's eyes widen with recognition, shocked that the game would grant him such a legendary monster from the start. The system confirms his suspicion. This is the fearsome dragon boss from the 99th wave. The legendary cold-blooded dragon, Rizzledrak, is revealed in all its terrifying glory. He understands that summoning this beast here means the instant annihilation of the entire human faction. But instead of a fearsome dragon, a tiny bat-winged creature bursts from the egg with a cheerful cry. Ji-hoon stares in disbelief, realizing he's summoned Rizzledrak as a level 1 baby. The newly hatched dragon looks up at him with wide, innocent eyes, completely unaware of its own legendary potential. The tiny dragon playfully licks his hand, a surprisingly gentle gesture from a legendary beast. Stunned, Ji-hoon sees an uncanny resemblance to his lost cat, Rue. A system window pops up, granting him the powerful ability, Eye of the Overlord. He quickly learns this new passive skill allows him to analyze any monster or item. The royal knights regain their courage, dismissing the tiny creature as a pathetic summon. Believing him to be defenseless, the knights charge forward, ready to strike him down. Ji-hoon's resolve hardens, deciding that whether this is a dream or reality no longer matters. His eyes glow with a sinister purple light as he designates his first target. He activates his new skill, realizing his only hope lies in the power of his tiny companion. The analysis reveals the baby dragon's first skill, a level 1 dragon breath, his one shot at survival. With a desperate shout, Ji-hoon commands his tiny companion to attack. The royal knights swarm him, their captain raising a halberd for the final blow. He puts all his faith into his only available skill, the legendary dragon breath. The baby dragon gathers a small but potent ball of dark energy in its mouth. A knight's confident charge turns to terror as he's engulfed by the sudden blast. From his throne, the king's eye widens in disbelief at the unexpected power. A devastating beam of red energy erupts, tearing through the armored knights with ease. The blast rips through the castle wall, continuing its destructive path toward the city. Terrified citizens can only watch as a massive chunk of the castle falls from the sky. Ji-hoon stands with his companion in the gaping hole, surveying the chaos he's just unleashed. Ji-hoon stares in wide-eyed shock, just beginning to process the sheer power he now commands. The king's advisor reels back, horrified that the palace wall was shattered with a single attack. Terrified courtiers label him a demon, unable to comprehend the creature he's just summoned. A sinister smile crosses his face as he realizes conquering this world might be easier than he imagined. The system reminds him of the ultimate prize, returning home with any item he chooses. He considers the countless legendary items in this world, confident he can find one to fix his past. Looking back on his miserable life, he decides there's no reason to hurry back just yet. With his tiny dragon growling on his shoulder, he resolves to focus solely on the mission at hand. The enraged king calls out from his throne, addressing the one who was supposed to be their savior. His face contorted with fury, the monarch prepares to deliver a grave proclamation. With his dragon companion growling, he vows to bring their destruction to claim his ultimate reward. Far below, the city carries on, unaware of the chaos erupting from the royal palace. A blonde female knight senses the disturbance, her face etched with concern for the palace. She grits her teeth, desperately hoping she can make it back in time. The knight sprints through the halls, her urgent cries echoing as she rushes to the king's side. Back in the throne room, Ji-hoon calmly asks his tiny dragon to prepare another devastating attack. The king's advisor panics, ordering the remaining guards to form a multi-layered shield wall. Ji-hoon scoffs at their futile effort, knowing their shields can't stop a blast that tore through solid stone. Wreathed in dark energy, he points a finger, locking onto his one and only target. His His objective is clear. The king who sits on his throne bracing for the inevitable. Just as he's about to strike, a powerful knight bursts through the doors announcing his arrival. The knight rallies the remaining guards, who maintain their shield wall to protect them. He commands another attack, but his tiny companion can only manage him a brief opening. A flicker of hope is quickly extinguished as he realizes he's still completely outmatched. Ares leaps forward, sword up. Golden light erupts from the chest. His eyes. Ji-hoon is stunned, realizing he pulled an S-rank weapon from his very first random box. He understands that a weapon with this much power has only one terrifying purpose. The sword slams into the ground, confirming its mission as the total annihilation of the human faction. But the legendary weapon suddenly cracks the floor, releasing an unstable energy. His confidence turns to sheer panic as he realizes the sword is dangerously unstable. The ground beneath erupts in a massive, uncontrolled explosion. Ji-hoon is thrown backward, completely caught off guard by the weapon's betrayal. He plummets from the castle, his victory instantly turning into a terrifying fall. He fumes, wondering what kind of shoddy palace can't even handle the weight of a single sword. His frustration turns to panic, realizing he's in trouble before he's even done anything. As he plummets from the sky, he refuses to accept such an anticlimactic end. He instinctively covers his head, bracing for a fatal impact with the ground below. But his fall abruptly stops, leaving him hovering in midair, completely bewildered. Looking down, he sees he was saved just moments before crashing into a courtyard fountain. The source of his rescue is revealed, the tiny bat-like wings of his companion. His baby dragon struggles to keep him aloft, finally proving its legendary lineage. Down below, the citizens of the capital can only point and stare at the flying man. After a rough landing, he grimaces, annoyed at being dropped right in the middle of enemy territory. He realizes that this chaotic encounter has given him crucial information. He now understands the vast power gap between himself and the entire kingdom. Knowing more S-rank knights will appear, he concludes that he must build his own strength. For now, his top priority is a strategic retreat from the capital. Back in the throne room, Ares trembles with shame, his honor as an elite knight shattered by this failure. He seethes with self-loathing, calling himself a pathetic fool unworthy of the king's favor. A courtier tries to get his attention as the Zodiac. His strategic thoughts are interrupted as he realizes his tiny dragon is losing altitude over the city. He desperately encourages his exhausted companion, knowing they're just moments away from escaping the capital. But their flight falters, sending them plummeting straight toward the outer city walls. The tiny dragon lets out a soft roar. Ji-hoon whips around, his senses screaming as the unseen threat closes in on him. A shadowy tendril lashes out with lethal intent, sending him stumbling backward in shock. His eyes widen in terror as the monstrous appendage rushes directly toward his face. The tendril ensnares him, lifting him effortlessly into the air as he struggles against its grip. He's slammed violently into the ground, the impact kicking up a cloud of dust and debris. Dazed and wounded, he squints up at his attacker, bracing for the inevitable final blow. But just as the attack is about to end him, a mysterious hand intercepts it, stopping the assault cold. His eyes dart to the side, his shock turning to utter disbelief as he recognizes his unexpected savior. He struggles to identify his savior, recognizing only her flowing white hair. His rescuer is revealed to be a fierce beastkin woman with sharp claws and piercing blue eyes. Ji-hoon stares in confusion, mistakenly identifying the powerful warrior as a rabbit. An angry mark appears on her head, clearly offended by his poor choice of words. She furiously gets in his face, insisting she's a fox, while he tries to clarify his comment. The beastkin continues her tirade, pointing to her ears as he calmly tries to identify her species. He thoughtfully strokes his chin. A trio of sinister-looking humans emerges from the forest, yanked into the air by her leg. The muscular bandit pulls on the rope with a brutal grin, dragging his captive toward them. The beastkin warrior struggles fiercely against her bonds, his looming over the downed fox girl and her unconscious comrade. He furiously condemns her for daring to strike a human. Dangerous place alone. The hunter looms over the downed fox girl, annoyed that she hasn't been subdued. He raises his club in a rage, ready to strike the defiant captive once more. Ji-hoon's eyes narrow, a dangerous purple light reflecting his growing anger. The bandit leader calmly tells his subordinate to stop. Though Ji-hoon clutches his chest in to end her own life enough to be useful. Made him. Always depended on energy flaring as the dragon's eye becomes a void of pure rage, crackling with destructive red energy. The hunter leader notices the creature's sudden shift in attitude as Ji-hoon panics. His subordinate points in terror, finally spotting the menacing monster floating in the air. Rizzle gathers power, its jaw trembling as it prepares to unleash a devastating attack. The captive fox girl screams a warning, urging the hunter to dodge the incoming blast. But Ji-hoon knows it's already too late, his expression grim as the scene unfolds. The dragon unleashes its breath attack, a terrifying beam of energy that makes the hunter plead for his life. The bandit's final thoughts are a desperate, silent plea for mercy. A searing red laser erupts from the tiny dragon, striking the hunter with pinpoint accuracy. In the aftermath, the bandit leader is completely gone, leaving his stunned comrades behind. Ji-hoon stares in utter shock, blood dripping from his mouth as he witnesses the instant obliteration. The two remaining bandits are frozen in terror, their faces pale with disbelief at their leader's demise. His tiny dragon lets out a final, exhausted roar, its body trembling from the sheer force of its own attack. Ji-hoon grits his teeth, realizing his companion's most powerful skill is now on a long cooldown. The ground where the hunter stood is now a scorched patch of earth, smoke rising from the impact. The muscular bandit sweats profusely, terrified by the raw power that could have easily ended him. His comrade trembles, clutching his weapon as he laments his own unfulfilled life. Enraged, the hunter turns his fury on the tiny dragon, swinging his weapon with lethal intent. Ji-hoon's eyes widen in panic, realizing his exhausted companion is now the target. The tiny dragon is sent hurtling through the air, but he scoffs at the downed dragon. The enraged hunter brings his club down with full force, aiming to finish off the tiny dragon. The captive fox girl watches in disbelief. A system window announces the permanent activation of a new passive skill. He gains the physical monster ability, granting him strength far beyond any human. The hunter's eyes widen in utter disbelief as his powerful swing is stopped dead in its tracks. Ji-hoon effortlessly catches the club with one hand, the impact shattering the ground as the antidote falls. The fox girl stares in wide-eyed disbelief, her jaw agape at the impossible display of strength. His remaining subordinates are frozen in terror, sweating as they realize the tables have completely turned. With a final brutal motion, Ji-hoon sends the hunter crashing to the ground, leaving him unconscious. He stands over his fallen foe, his expression cold and his hands stained, now the dominant force in the clearing. The last hunter panics and flees into the forest, leaving behind the shattered antidote bottle. The beastkin watches him go, confused by how he can move so powerfully after being fatally poisoned. Her expression shifts from shock to intense curiosity, realizing he is unlike any human she has ever met. His immediate concern turns to his injured companion, kneeling to gently scoop up the tiny dragon.
Ready? Yeah. So, well, I'll see you in 20 years. That's when season 2 will come out. So, I'll see you then.